Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Here we have Ros Tippett, Ewan Shields, and Jack Richmond from Henderson Loggie to talk you through their session of working at Henderson Loggie. So I'll turn you over now to Ros.
Thanks, Ross. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. As Ross said, I'm Ros. It's a bit confusing with the Ross and Ros. I'm the People Advisor at Henderson Loggie, and I'm also joined by Jack and Ewan, and they're going to be helping me out during today's webinar. So we're really excited to give you a bit of an insight into what it's like to work at Henderson Loggie. So for anybody who hasn't come across us before, we're Scotland's second largest independent accountancy firm. We're an owner-managed business. We've been based in Scotland since 1909. Our head office is in Dundee, and we also have offices in Aberdeen, Edinburgh and Glasgow. So we've got a great presence across the country. We offer a wide range of services from audit, tax, accounting and business solutions, and we've also got kind of a little bit more niche departments such as corporate finance, forensic accounting and business recovery and insolvency. So we do have quite a good mix of services that we offer. Our largest team is audit, so we've got about 30 trainees, various stages of their ICAS training contract. So for the purpose of today's webinar, we are just going to focus on audit. One of the questions I get asked most often by students at Careers Fair is what do accountants actually do? And it is a really great question because there's so many different paths into accountancy. So when somebody says they're an accountant, that could mean a whole range of things. So they might work in audit, they might work in tax, they might work in forensics, or they might work in audit. So I'm going to hand over to Ewan and he is going to explain what an auditor at HL does.
Excellent. So what's audit really like at HL? So at its core, our job is to make sure our financial statements are obviously accurate, compliant and trustworthy, really giving clients confidence in the numbers that drive their decisions. But audit here is so much more than just a compliance tick box exercise. We really try to add value to our clients by providing insights, identifying emerging risks, and ultimately just helping improve their business. One of the most exciting aspects of audit at HL is the variety. Our clients come in all shapes and sizes, from large commercial clients to small owner-managed businesses and not-for-profits doing amazing work. This mix sort of means no 2 days are the same. You're constantly learning something new. The way the work is sort of split, so you'll split your time between the office, collaborating with different departments, and on-site client visits, seeing the business in action. You might even be lucky enough to get the occasional overnight and get to see somewhere new. On that, actually, not too long ago, one of our teams found themselves staying at the same hotel as the Gallagher brothers during the Oasis tour. Working closely with colleagues in client engagements like this not only helps you build strong friendships and professional networks, but it also gives you industry insights you won't pick up anywhere else. The variety of clients and engagements at HL also just really gives you a super solid foundation knowledge, and the hands-on experience you gain complements your ICAS degrees perfectly, helping you understand concepts in practice, not just in theory from your ICAS classes. Over time, this builds technical skills, commercial awareness, and sort of professional confidence that will serve you really well in every stage of your career. By the end of your training contract, you'll have seen multiple industries, tackled complex challenges, be that in accounting senses, and then also just people challenges, and developed a practical understanding of business that many wouldn't actually get till much later in their careers. To sum up, audit at HL is a fast-paced, varied and hugely rewarding career, setting you up for a future full of opportunities and choice. I'll now pass over to Jack, who'll sort of do a wee bit of myth busting in terms of what audit really is.
Yeah. So hello everyone. As you mentioned, I'm Jack. So I've been working within the audit department at Henderson Loggie a little over 3 years now. I'll come back to my journey so far in a little bit more depth in the next slide. But first of all, I'd like to run through a few common misconceptions within audit. So when people think about accountants and specifically auditors, they often imagine someone sitting in a quiet office all day, buried in their spreadsheets, doing complicated maths. And while there are numbers involved, the reality is quite different and a lot more interesting actually. So I just want to run through some of the most common myths about accounting and give you the real picture based on my own experiences to so far within the profession. So first of all, and most commonly, the thing you hear is you have to be really good at maths to be an accountant. Now, of course, having good numerical skills can come in handy from time to time. However, accounting isn't all about complex maths. It's about understanding the story that numbers are telling you. So you'll be analysing, problem solving, and interpreting financial information, often using software to help with calculations. So you need to have strong attention to detail, logical thinking, and communication skills. These can often be a lot more important than advanced arithmetic or mathematical skills. So our second myth today is that accountants just sit at a desk working on spreadsheets all day. As Ewan has mentioned briefly, accountants spend most of their time working with people, so meeting clients, understanding client businesses, advising on strategies, and collaborating as part of a team. I would say it's just as much about relationships and insights as it is about the numbers. Yes, spreadsheets are used, but this is in conjunction with multiple pieces of other specialist software that we use. Next up, you have to have a degree in accounting or finance. So at Henderson Loggie, we recruit graduates from all disciplines: sports management, biomedical sciences, you name it. Analytical thinking, communication, and problem solving are just as important as the technical knowledge which you learn during your ICAS training. Now, the final one today is that accountants work alone. The reality is our audit department is highly team-based. Trainees work closely with seniors, managers, often out at client sites, collaborating, problem solving, and learning together throughout the process. So that's just a couple of myths to run off to you guys. At the end of the session, you'll have the chance to ask any questions, including anything you've heard about accounting that you're not quite sure about, if it's true or if it's false. So hopefully we can advise you in that bit. But hopefully that sheds a bit of light for you about what the job really involves. So now I just want to run you through a little bit about my journey with Henderson Loggie so far. So as you'll see on the screen, I joined the firm back in August 2022 as a direct entry. So that means I didn't go to university and I also don't have a degree. I essentially started straight out of school. Because of that, my training contract is slightly longer than the traditional graduate route. Well, as a graduate, you'll be working over 3 years, but my training contract runs over 5 years. So because I'm on a 5-year training contract, I have a bit more time to space at my exams compared to those on a 3-year graduate route. This meant that during my first year at the firm, I was fully focused on work with no exams to sit. This gave me a bit extra time and a good opportunity to find my feet, get used to the job, build a sort of stronger understanding of accountancy in practice before having to dive into these exams. It did really help me feel more confident going into studying though when this came about. So that did work well for me. You can see there's a bit of information about my exams. So I've started ICAS Knowledge in 2023. The way that I like to think about the exams is they're essentially like a ladder structure with 3 levels. So you've got your knowledge, your skills, and integration. So right now I'm sitting somewhere between about the 3rd and 4th box on the screens. So between skills and integration. I've just got the 2 at skills level to go, and then hopefully integration next year. And yes, I do appreciate the optimism when these slides are pulled together that hopefully by August 2024 I will be a fully qualified chartered accountant. So I'll pass you back to Ewan, who will share a bit about his career journey so far. And the only real difference between the 2 of us is he was on a graduate route, so maybe a wee bit more relatable.
Cool. So yeah, as Jack says, my journey with HL and ICAS really started during my final year of university, which I'm sure is a stage that many of you are at sort of right now. So yeah, during the final year, I was speaking with my university advisor, and he connected me with a former student who joined HL through an earlier recruitment round. So I caught up with her, had a brief chat, and after hearing nothing but positive things, I decided to take the leap and apply. That said, I was actually already aware of HL just through to the presidents, through guest lectures, prize sponsorship, and then just its general reputation as one of Scotland's largest independent firms. So after being sold an idea, I submitted my application online and was invited to the assessment centre, which included individual and group interviews, as well as an aptitude test. Thankfully, I was successful and was offered a role in the Edinburgh office starting in August 2020, as you can see on screen. At the time, we were still in lockdown, so onboarding was obviously pretty different, but HL did an amazing job in helping us settle in. I joined alongside a few other trainees who I'm still really good friends with today, which speaks volumes, really. For me, that's one of the best things, best parts of your training for your CA qualification. You're going through it alongside people at the same stage in their careers, and you can really support and motivate each other along the way. Since joining HL in 2020, I've worked my way up the ICAS levels while progressing along the HL career pathway at the same time. So I passed my final exam and became an audit senior in 2023 and was admitted to ICAS as a CA in January 2024. I'm now an audit assistant manager, managing my own portfolio of clients. The journey is 4 years from sort of first started, or 3.5 to when I finished and got admitted. But yeah, it's a big investment, but it's definitely worth it. And in my view, there's no better place to do it than at HL. Moving on to the next slide. So just a wee bit more about sort of people and pathways. So just like our client portfolio, our team is sort of truly diverse, with people from all different kinds of backgrounds, from school leavers to experienced RIs, spanning a wide range of ages, which I'm sure the partners will be delighted to hear, and experience levels. This variety really benefits our trainees. Working alongside colleagues who have been through the same journey provides practical guidance and encouragement, helping you progress from no experience or whatever level of experience you do have to a fully qualified accountant in either 3 to 5 years, depending on your programme. You'll also have structured support throughout your learning, be that in the form of your managers and those round about you, because ultimately everyone's been through the same training programme or was once a trainee themselves. But on top of that, we also offer regular training sessions, an online learning platform and regular feedback tools integrated to our appraisal system, with the idea of it all sort of designed to guide you at every stage. All of this then feeds into the clear progression pathway noted at the top of the screen there, mapping out your career journey at HL. For me, this is one of the most motivating aspects. It's sort of seeing the opportunities available when you put in the effort. At HL, there's probably no better example than our own managing partner, who once started off as a trainee himself and has since risen to sort of lead the firm, which is a real testament to what's possible here at HL. I'll now pass over to Roz, who will sort of detail out a wee bit more about the support network and development opportunities.
Perfect, thanks, Ewan. So we do understand that it's working while studying, it is challenging, but at HL there is a lot of support in place to help you succeed. So before you even start, you'll be assigned a buddy pretty much as soon as you've accepted the offer to join us. And they'll keep in touch with you until you start with us. You'll get a welcome guide a couple of weeks before you're due to start. And that has kind of details about where to park, where to go for lunch, what to wear, really trying to kind of make you as much at ease as possible for your first day. When you join, you'll go through a structured induction period. So usually it's about 3 weeks. You'll be starting with a group of trainees, so you're making friends right away. Over the 3-week period, we will cover things like our values, culture, behaviours. You'll get to know what makes HL unique. You'll meet key people across the firm. And then there's also different activities for you to do. You'll get an introduction to bookkeeping, so you're given hands-on experience, and that'll help with your day-to-day job. And you'll get an introduction to audit. So again, you're going to learn the approach, methodologies, and the role that you're actually going to play in the firm as well. So once you begin your studies, so whether you're like Jack and you've got a year's work experience, or like Ewan, where you're kind of coming in hitting the ground running, you're going to be assigned a mentor. So typically somebody who's just completed their qualification, and they'll be able to share like their insights. They'll offer encouragement and help you stay on track through your exams. You have a line manager, so they'll check in with you frequently. You'll also be assigned an ICAS counselling member, And again, they'll continue to support you throughout your training, help you set goals, track your progress, but they'll also make sure that you actually meet the requirements for your ICAS qualification, because it's not just about your exams, you've also got to kind of demonstrate that you meet all the competencies. You also get paid study and exam leave so that you're fully prepared to sit your exams. And beyond that, we are really big on continuous development within the firm. So through our HL Academy, you'll take part in behavioural and technical skills, and that'll help you grow both professionally and personally. And the audit team also run regular technical sessions, and that's really to keep everybody up to date with all the kind of changing standards, and also keep you up to date with best practice. So we aren't just about numbers, and hopefully we've demonstrated that, but we really do have a great culture here at HL. We're not your stereotypical accountants in suits. When we're out meeting clients, yes, we are dressed professionally, but in the office, it's smart casual. What that looks like is the majority of us are in jeans, trainers, and a t-shirt. We've got our own HL branded polo shirts like what I've got on, and we've got hoodies. We've actually got hats for the winter as well, so it's just a sea of the HL brand colours, so it is a really cheerful place to be. Offices are open plan, the partners sit with their teams, and it just really encourages a collaborative work environment, but it also means that you're accessible to everybody, so you can be in the kitchen speaking about football to David Smith, the managing partner, or you could be speaking to me about cats and dogs. So I mean, it really just depends who's in the kitchen at that particular time. Aside from the people, we are really into giving back to the community. Everybody at HL gets one paid volunteering day a year. And we've also just set up our own HL Charitable Foundation that's set up and run by our employees as trustees, and we've already made a number of awards to local charities, and we do fundraise throughout the year, so staff can join in the fundraising. So as you can see on the screen, we've done the kilt walk, which was like 21 miles, which was a little bit tough, but then we do Halloween quizzes, we've got sweepies, so there are things for everybody to get involved in throughout the year. We do firm-wide events together, so our winter party, HL conference, which we had at Dynamic Earth in Edinburgh, and it's just a great chance to catch up with colleagues from across the offices, that you might not get to see on a daily basis, but so it is a really, really good opportunity. The departments also organise like their own socials too. So audit have just had an audit day in Edinburgh, and they were doing a scavenger hunt. And then the teams go out for tea, they go out for after work drinks. So we are a very sociable crowd. And the firm also offers sponsors events. So there's opportunities to attend things like the Career Business Awards in Dundee, that's usually for managers, but you know, there are other opportunities for everybody. And then we've got our own young professional network, so that's run by our marketing team, and again, it's just a great opportunity for our trainees and newly qualified to get out there and meet other professional people. So I think as I mentioned, our applications aren't open at the moment. They are going to be opening January 2026. So if you are interested, if you just scan the QR code on the screen, what that does is you sign up and we will send you a notification when the applications are open. So there will be vacancies in Glasgow, Dundee and Edinburgh. I don't know where I'm getting Glasgow from. And they typically start in August 2026. So I hope that's given you a little snapshot of life at Henderson Loggie. So from our work and professional development to our culture and community spirit, we hope today's given you a better idea of what it's like to work here and what makes HL such a great place to work and to start your accountancy career in. So yeah, thank you for joining us today, and if you've got any questions, please put them in the chat. So what advice do you have for someone without a finance degree?
Yeah, so from my perspective anyway, so I'm actually a relevant degree, but for those with non-relevant degrees, I think you're actually just in as good a position. So those who have relevant degrees do sometimes get exemptions, but if you come from a non-relevant degree, you sort of start off at ICAS at the base level, the knowledge level. So they bring you up to speed and essentially cover off pretty much everything that someone who completed an accountancy degree during university would have across the 4 years in 1 year. And I'd honestly say you might even be better placed because you're learning in the way that ICAS expect you to sort of complete the work and how they would want you to lay things out in terms of marking and picking up marks. So I wouldn't see it as a disadvantage at all. They give you all the resources. So yeah, ICAS definitely leave you well trained and well covered off in that regard. I don't know if you've got anything to sort of add to that, Jack.
No, much the same as what you say. I would agree in the fact, obviously, I didn't have any exemptions coming in as a direct entry, and I think those sort of first bunch of exams actually really helped me get an understanding, because there was no sort of even accountancy wasn't offered as a subject at my school or nothing. So I mean, I was coming in completely blind to the world of accountancy. So those exams sort of gave me the first stages and understanding of accountancy and what to expect as the exams sort of get trickier as you go on. So yeah.
Okay, so I'll take the next two because they're both kind of HR related. So the assessment centre process, so what happens is when the applications go live at the start of January, and it'll probably be the 5th or 6th of January 2026. The initial screening, so there's a couple of screening questions. You upload your CV and cover letter to the ICAS HR, which is the system that we use. And then for those that meet the basic requirements, so at the moment that would look like if you've got a minimum of a 2-1, any degree and full right to work in the UK for the length of the contract, you'd probably be invited to upload a video answering 3 questions. And then the video is scored by audit and HR, and then for those that are successful, you'd be invited to the assessment centre. And again, that'll be a mix like what Ewan was saying earlier. So it's a nice mix of, you'll get an interview, you'll have different tasks to work through, there'll be a group exercise, and then at the end it's basically everything is scored by the panel, and that is pretty much the process. Interns, we do offer interns for 3rd years, and the reason that we do that is because if you're successful in the internship, you will get offered a place on the graduate programme for the following year. So that's what the internship look like. So for ACCA, we don't offer ACCA in audit. It is only ICAS, unfortunately. The graduate visa, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that is just 2 years, so it wouldn't cover the length of the ICAS training contract, unfortunately. And we don't actually do a 4-week internship. Our interns happen over the summer, and they're generally 8 to 12 weeks paid. And that's to give people a real understanding of what it's like working in audit, because if you're going to get offered a place for the following year, you've got to make sure that we're the right fit for you, and that you're the right fit for us. And internships, no, they typically go live anywhere between March and May. I mean, it really depends for them, but it won't be January. But if it's something you're interested in, you can drop me an email, recruitment@hlca.co.uk, and we'll keep your email on file, and as soon as they go live, I can send you an email. So if anybody else wants to do that, I'm more than happy for you to do that. I think that's all our questions. Oh, yep. So it's recruitment@hlca.co.uk.
Thank you so much, Rose, and you and Jack, for coming along today and giving us your insights. It's been incredible having you here. And thank you for answering so many great questions in the chat. Thank you all for coming to the event, to the session today, sorry. Hopefully if they've got any more questions, you can go onto the Henderson Loggie booth within the Careers Fair and ask them there. Again, thank you all so much for your time today.